Hi, I'm Knives Monroe, indie filmmaker here in Austin, Texas, and what's been on my mind as of late is HBO's The Sopranos. Now, Claire and I have watched a lot of television this year due to the lockdown epidemic. We can't go out and do stuff, we can't go to the movies. We've seen Ozark in its entirety, Insecure in its entirety. We saw Watchmen, Succession, so many great shows. Homeland, which was phenomenal. But the show that's been on my mind the most is The Sopranos. And so I need to take more time to internalize this, let it sink in. And I would love to talk about The Sopranos in a future podcast, future video. So stay tuned for that, because there's a lot to talk about. But right now, I want to respond to an answer somebody asked me. It was actually a dear friend of mine, Dave Knopp, from Knopp Top, his YouTube channel, who's also crushing it on TikTok. This guy's got over 1 million likes. He's a hero of mine. And he asked me, what is the movie that I have seen the most? There's two answers to this. I'm going to tell you the real answer, and then I'm going to tell you the answer I actually want to talk about. The real answer is Toy Story 1. I've seen probably 300 plus times. Not an exaggeration, not hyperbole. I've seen the original Toy Story 1 about 300, 350 plus times. Now, that is because I grew up with that movie. I've seen it so many times on VHS, on DVD, on television. But when I had children, I saw it a lot. So that's the real answer. If we're just talking about quant, then it's Toy Story 1. But a movie that I love, that I've put on, that I've seen not having anything to do with the kids, that I've seen the most, probably 125, 150 plus times, is Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood. Now, for 10 years, Michel Gondry's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind was my favorite film of all time. That was my favorite movie. It was so good, I would watch it every other year, maybe once every 3 years. That's how much I loved it. It would make me bawl every single time. I'd seen it a multitude of times with audio commentary. I've seen every interview, you name it. Eternal Sunshine was my favorite. But I had seen There Will Be Blood so many times, it just became my favorite, just organically, just by watching it. And every time I saw it, and still to this day, every time I see it, there's a new thing that I pick up. I think everything is in There Will Be Blood that can be learned about Americana, American history, capitalism for that matter. It's all in there. It's one of the greatest acted movies I've ever seen. Now, I'm not going to tell you something about There Will Be Blood that you can't find in a smarter, more articulate, verbose video essay. But instead, I'm going to talk about the day There Will Be Blood changed my life forever. So this must have been 2007, 2008. I was 19, 20, and I was going to community college. Now, by going, I mean I was enrolled and I was supposed to go, but I would never really go. Back in the day, a friend recommended There Will Be Blood to me, and so I rented it on DVD. It may have even been VHS. I can't recall. I saw the runtime. It was about 2 hours and a half, and I thought, okay, well, I'll put on half of the movie, and then I'll go back to class, and I'll finish it when I get back. I put on There Will Be Blood, and I never went back to college ever again. There was no pausing it in the middle and returning to it later on. I saw the whole thing. And as soon as it ended, I watched it again. And as soon as I finished it the second time, I watched it again in its entirety for a third time, 3 times in one day. I never went back to school. And it was one of these moments where I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to make movies. I'm a filmmaker. Do you ever get that feeling? What was that movie for you? Let me know in the comments. I want to know. DM me, text me, whatever. Let me know, what was that movie or commercial or music video or piece of content or podcast, whatever it was for you that hit you on the top of the head like a bolt of lightning, and you realized, this is what I want to do. There Will Be Blood did that for me. There's been a couple of movies that I can name on one hand that have done that for me. There'll Be Blood was probably the second one and one of the most meaningful ones. I mean, I realized I was wasting my life with college, community college. I realized, I was living somebody else's life. I was going to school, trying to make my girlfriend at the time happy. I thought that she wouldn't be with me if I was just some schmuck that was watching movies all day, which in 2007, that's really all you could do, Technology wasn't where it was at today. Making content on the internet just wasn't, there was no way to be considered a professional or to make a living at that time. There was certainly not encouragement like this on the internet at the time. So it just felt like a pipe dream. But I was already a fan of Paul Thomas Anderson. I had seen Boogie Nights. I had seen Magnolia. I was a fan of Punch Drunk Love. I knew all about the legend of Daniel Day-Lewis. I had seen Gangs of New York. I had heard of My Left Foot. I'd seen The Crucible. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis he's one of the greatest living actors to have ever done it. And the first 20 minutes of the movie has no dialogue. You're just following this guy who's a silver prospector. He breaks his leg and he discovers oil. I'm just like, I'm hooked. I am hooked into this movie. It's so good. It's a movie I go back to. I have to watch 3 to 5 times every year. And it's the movie that I've seen the most. Dave Knopp, thank you so much for asking that question. I would love to continue this dialogue, this discussion about the movie that you've seen the most, the movie that changed your life, that inspired you to do what it is you love to do today. And I would also love to know what you think about Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood. So let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button. Leave me a comment. Even a one-word comment goes a long way. Hit that bell so you can be notified when there's going to be a new video. Subscribe to my podcast on Spotify. It's called Knives Monroe versus the podcast. There's a new podcast every single day. So check that out. And if you want to support the cause, visit indiedarlings.net. Check out our shop. We have new prints. We have new products that I think would be really, really cool. And we're selling masks for COVID-19. So be healthy. And if you or someone you know need a mask, check it out at indiedarlings.net. They're all handmade and they're absolutely amazing. Last thing that I want to say is I love you guys. Keep a force field around your heart, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Thank you very much for watching.